Reducing and simplifying secrets. The things you should know. I'm going to share 17 vital things today. The two most common misconceptions range from the unexpectedly positive to the depressingly negative to the unsightly errors that many individuals make. And lastly, the 5 keys that actually contribute to the success of this voyage. This is a very emotional journey filled with joy, grief, and life-altering experiences rather than merely discarding things. You'll learn why living in a smaller house can lead to more freedom, why many people put off decluttering and later regret it, and the easy trick that makes it easier to get started without feeling overwhelmed. Although I acknowledge that downsizing might be challenging, I think you'll be pleasantly pleased by the advantages and relief it offers. I'll leave you with a message at the end of the film that might alter your perspective on your own house. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share this content if you find it useful. Your encouragement inspires us to keep sharing more significant content. I appreciate you being here. Let's start with the first group now. Let's begin by discussing the advantages of decluttering and shrinking. What all? To help you recall and visualize them, I will give each one a name. We'll then discuss the negative, which not many people discuss, as well as the unsightly, which are the blunders that lead many people to give up. I'll then go over 2 typical misconceptions that a lot of people have. Lastly, we will discuss the 5 secrets of success. Little actions can have a big impact on the entire journey. There are 5 groups with a total of 17 points. Every point will have a clear name. First good, then awful, then ugly, then ugly too, so that the information won't overwhelm you. After you've finished listening, I think you'll find at least one thing that applies to your personal circumstances and know just where to begin. Let's start with the first group then. Well done. A life that is easier. You notice a noticeable change right away when there are less items in the house. When you open the door, there will be no more suffocation. Before a packed room, no more sighs. After living in a large home for 30 years, Helen downsized, and she stated that for the first few weeks, she felt as though she had lifted an unseen weight. You don't have to manage hundreds of dispersed items or worry about misplacing items you don't use often when your life is easier. This simplicity is even more valuable to older individuals, since it provides them both mental and bodily comfort. Easy mobility, no tripping, and a more leisurely pace of each day. Good, too. A smaller house, but one that is calm and well organized. Being just enough rather than lacking is what a smaller home signifies. Helen downsized from a 4,800 square foot home to a 1/5 size flat. She was taken aback by how much easier it was to handle things. Everything had a place. She stopped spending hours searching for a notebook or a spoon. This neatness brought to a sense of security and tranquility, which is particularly important for elderly people whose strength and memory are declining. The heart is calmer and less disturbed by clutter when the house is well organized. Better 3. Greater freedom, money, and time. Clearing the calendar and budget is just as important as the house when it comes to downsizing. Helen's utility bill significantly decreased. She didn't have to purchase additional storage, and she stopped spending hours cleaning when she trimmed down on over 80% of her possessions. These savings became liberation. She was healthier, had more money for travel, and had more time to spend with her kids and grandchildren. Downsizing allows seniors to regain time and energy, which they frequently value most. They are free to enjoy life without being constrained by possessions. Beneficial for a higher standard of living. The most unexpected finding was that Helen was happier than ever following the downsizing. She found delight in the small things, breathed easier, and slept better in a home with less possessions. She could concentrate on what truly mattered: health, relationships, and soul-nourishing activities instead of fretting about accumulating up. I once asked myself, why didn't I do this sooner? Helen revealed, I believe that I needed a lot of things to be happy, but as I let go, I found bliss. Her experience demonstrates that reducing adds rather than detracts. More time to live for herself, more independence, and more tranquilly. The bad guys are Group 2, the roller coaster of emotions. Helen is a prime example of why downsizing is not always simple. At one point, she compared the experience to a continuous, emotional roller coaster. She threw away a stack of old newspapers one day with a sense of satisfaction. However, as soon as she touched her late husband's handkerchief, she started crying. She wanted to stop because of the mixture of anxiety, remorse, dread, delight, and serenity. Seniors frequently associate objects with memories. Therefore, the sense of loss that comes with letting go is quite genuine. If I let this go, am I letting go of part of my life? Helen said she asked herself occasionally. She was perplexed and even worn out by that inquiry. However, she found a way to go on after realizing that those emotions were common. She began with just one box in the living room and one drawer in the kitchen. Every tiny victory gave her confidence to keep going. And gradually, relief replaced the sadness. The lesson here is that embracing emotions rather than resisting them is the key to reducing. Therefore, every tiny step brings you closer to freedom and out of overwhelm. The ugly are Group 3. Trying to do everything at once. Ugly 1. At one point, Helen believed she could finish the thousands of square feet of the house in a few weeks. However, she grew more and more worn out as she worked. She nearly quit up since everything was so disorganized. Attempting to clear everything at once rather than splitting it down is a very typical mistake. Helen started to see the difference when she changed her strategy every day and concentrated solely on one drawer or shelf. She maintained her strength and no longer felt overpowered, albeit moving more slowly. Like ascending a mountain, downsizing takes time and effort. Attempting to accomplish it alone is also ugly. Because she did all the work herself, Helen sobbed almost every day throughout the first month. She didn't want to disturb anyone and believed that this was her job. Her strength, however, was insufficient. She was burdened by memories. After some time, she asked her daughter and a few intimate pals. She was taken aback by how much easier the work became with company. They shared stories, laughed together, and even the tears became lighter. Seniors view asking for assistance as a means to preserve energy and create happy memories rather than a sign of weakness. 3 ugly things. Bringing an excessive amount of stuff into the new house. Even though Helen had trimmed 80% of her possessions, she brought more than she required when she moved into the flat. The end effect was a congested, disorganized area. This is a simple trap. We save too much just in case, even when we believe we let go of a lot, in order to make the new house genuinely open and tidy. Helen spent several months letting go once more, but more firmly this time. Measuring space and capacity before moving objects is the lesson. Avoid making the new location a miniature version of the previous one. Waiting too long to begin. Ugly 4. For years, Helen put it off because she was afraid of the mess. Pressure mounted when she eventually had to downsize in order to relocate. Limited time, deteriorating health, and expensive storage and transportation expenses. In retrospect, she wished she had started sooner. Seniors may lose the opportunity to enjoy a more comfortable life with each year that is postponed. In addition to lowering stress, starting early gives kids and grandkids a gift by preventing them from having to deal with a ton of stuff when they're grieving. Ugly 5. Still making additional purchases. Maintaining the shopping habit was another error. It was originally described by Helen as a dose of comfort on lonely days. However, the void was never filled by new things. Rather, they added weight to the house. She began asking herself, do I really need this, or am I just buying to cover up feelings? After repeatedly feeling lazy, she discovered more money in her pocketbook and more lightness in her heart, after she learned to stop. The key to living a simple life was giving up pointless buying. Group 4. Misconceptions. The first misconception is that decluttering is just stressful. Many individuals believe that organizing possessions only results in pressure, tears, and tiredness. In actuality, those emotions could manifest initially. When you touch an old memento, you could cry and feel overpowered by the heaps of items. However, that isn't the entire journey. Joy replaces worry when you begin with a tiny area and gradually see results. A neat drawer or a more light-filled area of the room can provide a tiny sensation of accomplishment that keeps you going. Understanding that stress is merely the beginning of the process, and that the majority of it will result in relief, safety, and self-confidence is crucial for older folk. The second misconception is that downsizing is reserved for ultra-minimalists. Another misconception is that downsizing entails living in a situation of scarcity, becoming extremely minimalist, and retaining very few possessions. However, downsizing does not require drastic cuts. It only aids in preserving what is genuinely important and essential for your current phase of life. Favorite and familiar items can still be kept, but long unused items should be discarded. The goal of downsizing is balance. Not too little to make you feel starved, but not too much to create chaos. It's important that your house reflects your current self. Neat, secure, and sufficient. 5 secrets of success. Group 5. That rhymed. The first secret is to start small. Many individuals fail because they burn out too soon and try to clean the entire house at once. Starting small is the first secret. Just one bookshelf, one box, or one drawer. You feel lighter and more motivated after completing a single minor activity. Every little accomplishment is like a foundational brick. I am capable of doing this. Starting small helps prevent weariness and maintain energy, especially for older folks. Without too much effort, a permanent habit can be formed in about 10 to 15 minutes per day. Clear sorting is the second secret. Making 3 boxes is a highly practical method. Give, toss, and keep. You have to make a decision right away while you are holding an object. Don't wait or put it off until tomorrow. This technique gradually develops decluttering skills and teaches decisiveness. You get better at deciding what to keep and what to let rid of the more you practice. Decisions eventually feel effortless rather than burdensome. After then, the house gradually clears without overpowering you. The third secret is to embrace and acknowledge your feeling. Letting go affects emotions in addition to material possession. When putting down an old clothing or a picture, you could cry. This is typical. Memories reside in your heart, not in things. You feel lighter when you acknowledge that you are not losing memories. Give yourself permission to stop, take a big breath, and then go on. Many elderly people understand that when they part with something, they are not losing a piece of their lives. Rather, they are choosing to preserve a more straightforward, uncomplicated version. The fourth secret is to concentrate on clarity and independence. Not only is a neat home more aesthetically pleasing, it also makes it easier to see who you spend time with and what you live for. You have more time to concentrate on your relationships, personal happiness, and health when clutter isn't ruling you. Living in a secure, open, and user-friendly environment is more important for freedom in later life than traveling far. Peace results from this clarity. You are aware of everything's location. You are no longer controlled by things, and you are in charge of your house. The fifth secret is to declutter not just the house, but also the psyche. Downsizing involves both mental and physical purification. You release regrets and anxieties when you part with unnecessary things. Bound to them. An empty drawer provides mental space in addition to storage space. You can plainly see what you need, what you want, and how complete you are right now thanks to that space. This is evident to me when I reflect on the entire shrinking and decluttering process. Making your house reflect who you are now is more important than simply discarding items. A clean, safe, and light house where you can walk about freely, take deep breaths, and enjoy every day without being constrained by past trouble. You don't have to be flawless. It's not necessary to complete everything at once. Simply begin with a single bookcase, box, or drawer. In addition to being a gift to yourself, every little step you take will help your kids and grandkids avoid future stress. Keep in mind that what you keep today includes not only things, but also the decision you make about how to live a simpler, safer, and more tranquil life for the rest of your days. I appreciate you sticking by me this long. Please let me know if you find this content useful by liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. We will keep sharing more significant items to make homes and lives lighter, because your support is invaluable. I appreciate you being here. Let's start with the first group now. Let's begin by discussing the advantages of decluttering and shrinking. To help you recall and visualize them,